Okay, so a lot of people ask me, where can I get fonts that are not on my machine already? Well, you can get fonts from a lot of different places. Let me go ahead and open up my web browser, and I have a lot of things going on. So you can get a lot of free fonts from dafont.com. There are other trustworthy sites out there, like FontSpace. So let's do free fonts, and I'll tell you which ones they are. Okay, so usually 1,001 free fonts, and then Font Squirrel and FontSpace. Usually those are good. I still really only use Dafont because I love searching through the themes up here. And just be careful that when you're going to these sites that give you free fonts, they should tell you what you're allowed to use it for. So like this is free for personal use, and there's actually 2 different versions of this font in that font file. So this means you can use it for your own personal stuff, but you can't like make a book cover with this font and then sell that book and then just call it good. You have to either pay for the font from them or ask for permission to do a commercial sell product. So a couple of them, like this one, where is it? Maybe none of them say it right now, but there are ones on Dafont that say, oh, see, 100% free. So this Salida, if I didn't want to question it, I can do this because it's 100% free. You can use it for anything you want. So a couple other places that I get them, I always get stuff from Design Deals. I'm like an addict. I don't know what my deal is, but they sell you all these crazy, like really cool tools. And they're like only like a 2-week sale. But like this one, there's 37 fonts that you can buy for $39, which sounds expensive. And for some people it is, especially when you're first starting out in graphic design or you're a student. But seriously, some of these fonts, if you go to a Font Foundry, so look for Font Foundry, that's what they're called. So if I go to Lost Type, this is a Font Foundry. They have professional fonts from all over the world from a bunch of different designers. But if I click on this one, it'll take me to his site and he designed it. And let's see, fonts. Let's see if we can find out how much Overpass costs. Download. Wow, that might be free. That can't be true. If it's free, I'm going to download it right now because I'm obsessed. It is free. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, some of these, like Helvetica is like hundreds, if not $1,000. It's crazy. Some of these usually run about $40 to $50 per font. So the fact that you're getting 37 fonts for $39 is like insane. So every time a font one comes up, like I buy it because again, I'm obsessed. But by the way, this has a ton of different other types of materials that you might want. So I get a lot of stuff from my Design Deals. So again, you can look for Font Foundries. You can search for designers like Dave Bailey, and sometimes they give stuff away for free, apparently. So I'm going to come back there. But you can start with Dafont, and it's pretty much the same thing. So I clicked, well, first of all, in here, I typed my text, and then so it would show it, and then you can choose what size you want it to show it in. And let's go ahead and hit submit. So it'll give me a much bigger one because I am going to have my masquerade text really big. And then you can search through themes here, or you can just do like I looked for Baroque the other day because I was designing a Baroque poster. So this is terrible. So I had to look through themes. So that's the easiest way. So I came over here and looked through medieval fonts and then started searching for something that would look good for a Baroque era. So when you do it, you can go inside of each one of these fonts. So let's say I like this font, which I don't, but let's say I did. And I can download it that way, and you can see that it downloads here. And usually it'll go to your downloads folder. Another thing you can do is you can go into that font, and that font is going to show you what characters are designed and what they look like as capitals and lowercase. And the thing you want to be aware of is because this is a free font, they have designed some of the things like an ampersand and the @ symbol. But if you're looking for something like the yen symbol or the euro symbol or the registered trademark or copyright or some of the accent marks, they haven't designed those. So if you really need the accent marks, or if you really need the yen or the euro or copyright, then you probably shouldn't use this font. So just be careful that you're really checking those. And if you look, some of them, I think, will say they have like 2 files. Where the heck did those go? Yeah, 4 font files. So if I go to Old London, it'll show you that you'll have a couple of different options. It'll have like italic and then bold and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, it downloaded and it's usually in your downloads folder. For me, mine is on the desktop because I already moved it there. I found this font called Birds of Paradise. It's always going to come as a zip file. So you can tell it just has a little zipper. I'm on a Mac, so if you're on a PC, it looks a little bit different. Mac people, you can just double click it and it'll unzip. PC people, you have to right click on it, choose something like extract all so that it opens up. So I'll just double click and it should open it up, and it puts it somewhere on my desktop. Man, I gotta clean up my desktop. So, well, that's not helpful. I do not know where it went. Okay, hang on. Clean up. Sort by name. There we go. Birds of Paradise. There you were. Oh, hey. Okay. It's literally... There it is. Okay. So if I come in here, now when I open this folder, let me do that. So you'll see a true type file or an OTF file. If you have the difference between, or if you want to choose between them, TTF is an old type of font file, so you usually want the OTF file that has a little bit more features to it. So this will also give you an image. Sometimes they'll have a guide and it'll tell you what you can do with it, and it'll give you a preview of what it'll look like. And if you got one that's really good, it'll actually have like a bunch of different font files in here. That'll be like the bold version, the light version, the regular version, the italic version, the bold italic version. Those are the best kinds of those fonts. But this is the one I want to use right now. So once I've unzipped it, you can't do this until you've unzipped it. And then go into the folder that's been unzipped, double click on the OTF or the TTF file. So I only have one option here, so I'll double click on it. So it should bring up, now PC people, you might need to right click on it and choose install, or if you double click on it, hopefully it'll bring up your installation options. So for here, this is my own personal computer, so I can choose install font. It'll tell you if you've previously installed it before, but for right now, I'll just choose install font. And this will bring up in Mac all of the fonts these are all the fonts that I have installed that did not come on my machine. So again, you can see that I'm obsessed with this. So anyway, now this should be installed on my machine. Now just be careful, it's called Birds of Paradise, so you would assume that you could find it under the word Birds of Paradise in Photoshop. Some of these though are named, like this might have been called something different, but they have JD in front of it for now. Or they'll have like the designer's name in front of it. And so you kind of have to really look for those. But for right now, I think Birds of Paradise will probably work. So let's go back into my Masquerade file. This is the one I was working on. And I can see if I like that. So I'll click on my Masquerade layer and come up here to this drop down menu. And let's look for Birds of Paradise. There we go. Birds of Paradise. And then I can make it smaller. All right, so it's not bad. So I can actually click and drag this so that I can have 2 copies, and I can keep the Birds of Paradise, and then I can come in here and choose. And a cool thing you can do is you can search by classes. So I want to do handwritten, and this will try to find all of the handwritten fonts that I have in my list of fonts here. So I'll go ahead and choose Lost in the Wild and make it smaller. And then I should be able to turn this on and off to be able to see, do I want Birds of Paradise or Lost in the Wild? So probably Birds of Paradise. This is a little bit more fancy. This one has a little bit more fun, youthful flair to it, which is kind of working with this orange and green theme. So I might actually keep this one. But another thing you can do is see how Lost in the Wild just has regular. And that's because it only came with that one sample size. So let me do, and you can see like right here, I have Hallelujah regular and Hallelujah light. So you have those 2 different options for that font. But if I were to take, let me take this off and do Helvetica Neue, because if you come over here to regular, you should be able to see all these different versions. So I can choose bold or I can choose condensed black, or I love making huge font in ultra light because it's really, really modern and clean. So as it gets really big, it's kind of really cool. So anyway, PC people, if you're on a PC right now, I feel bad for you because you don't have Helvetica, and I love Helvetica Neue. But all right, so that's the basics of installing a font and then working with the styles. And if you get, again, a really versatile font from either you buy it or you go to a foundry or you get it free from dafont.com or another similar site, the best kinds are the ones that have all these options here. But that's for you to find out in your search for the perfect font for your design.